The initial purpose of the poster was with our reported events of accidental damage of the catheter when we're actually removing the sutures. So with tunneled catheters, we do actually remove the sutures, or it's recommended to remove them after 30 days once tissue actually grows around that cuff under the tunneled part of the catheter. So we had instances or like safety event reports wherein like depending on like how the sutures were actually placed or like tied up to the catheter, there was accidental like incision or like cutting of the catheter that did happen. So that actually led to us requiring them to have an emergency catheter replacement, and which with our population that we actually did this poster or this study, it was oncology patients. So they're very immunocompromised. So putting them into another unnecessary procedure was actually the drive to actually like switch them out and see like if there was something else that we could actually use rather than sutures. I've been using SecurAcath with PICC lines as a PICC inserter. It was a new idea when we actually like opened the idea to interventional radiology. So interventional radiology does actually place our tunneled catheters. So it was actually a discussion with them and getting them the buy-in, I would say, to actually like consider placing SecurAcath rather than doing their sutures, which they're very used to. So initially, the plan for the SecurAcath was just to actually just replace the sutures. So the initial plan when we were discussing it was to actually just keep it for the first 30 days and then remove it. And then our transplant team did voice out their concerns because during that 30 days, those patient populations actually does have lower immune system, which meant that they actually have patients that has lesser regeneration of like new cells. And if we go back again to how tunneled catheters, I mean like their securement with the cuff, it's actually with tissue regeneration and growing around that cuff. So we actually thought like, it may actually be better if we actually keep it. So we did actually have discussions with SecurAcath, definitely, because I mean with PICC lines we just kept them like all throughout the catheter. I mean the indwelling time of the catheter. So we were like, but you know, tunnel catheter and PICC lines are somehow different, and it was a new catheter. So we were like, let's ask, and they actually said no. We didn't actually see anything with other institutions that did actually institute using SecurAcath with tunnel catheters. So we were like, so if there's no harm, let's just actually like keep it. The poster does actually show there were 0 instances wherein like we had any catheter damage, instances of catheter damage. And even during the time, and even like way after the time that we were actually like monitoring them closely on like if there were any other instances, I have not received any safety reports. And as well, like it does, whenever like a nurse actually tells, is it better than the suture? I always tell them like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like with the SecurAcath, your catheters are more secure rather than sutures? And you actually performing the suture removal, how do you actually feel about that as well? And a lot of them actually said like, yeah, it's actually like more better because we don't actually have to do any manipulation with the catheter or anything that has to do with the catheter. It's just actually them doing dressing changes and accessing the catheter whenever they actually come in for their appointments. So I do actually very like it.